What's up, fragrance family? This is Tyler with Simply Fragrances, and today I'm getting my full review on this bad boy right here, Brass and Soul from Mr. Justin Copeland and Mr. George Zaharoff. So if you want to know what I have to say about this, be sure and keep it right here. Alright guys, welcome back. Like I said, my name is Tyler. This is my channel, Simply Fragrances. If this is your first time viewing this channel, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me and watch this review. Really excited to bring it to you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit the red subscribe button. Really do appreciate that. That really does help me out. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, guys. We're at 635 and we keep on expanding. So thank you guys so much for the love and support you have shown this channel. Let's keep it going. We'll keep it rocking. All right guys, really excited for this one. So like I said, this is Brass and Soul from Mr. Justin Copeland. Really excited for this one. This one is probably, I don't want to say the most special, but I will say this one does hold a special place, at least in my heart, because Justin was actually the person that I even heard about Zaharoff from. So to introduce me to the house that now he has had a collaboration with and I get to review his fragrance, this is really something special for me. So shout out to you, Justin, man. Shout out to George for doing the collab with all of these Zed creators. This one's gonna be really special. So let's go ahead and get into this. Man, really excited about this. It's been really hard not to just crack these bad boys open and go ahead and smell them, but I wanted to share my first impressions and experiences with you guys. So let's go ahead and go over the box presentation. So box presentation, this to me, out of all of them, I think is my favorite. So I love this almost kind of like leathery vibe this has. You got the Brass and Soul right there, and obviously a brass colored or a bronze colored lettering. Really think that's swanky. And then you got the Stay Fresh production logo right there. There's a Zaharoff Z. And then what's really cool is on the sides, you have these music notes, and this is actually a song that Justin has made, and you can actually play along with this. Now, I actually played trumpet in high school, and I tried busting it out to see if I could play it, and it's been way too long since I've played. So maybe one day I'll get this down and can play it for you guys. But really excited that he put some of his own creativity on that in his own music. So I think that's super awesome. But you do have the Zaharoff house right here with Stay Fresh Productions on the bottom. You do have the fragrance distribution center, and then the shelf life, which I always like because it gives you kind of a rough idea of how long the fragrance should be good for. So overall, just a beautiful box presentation. George, he always does above and beyond with his presentations, and it looks like him and Justin hit it out of the park with this one. So super awesome. Open it up, and then the fragrance sits in there just like that. So really excited to get into the first impressions, so keep it right here. I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. All right guys, so before we get into the smell of the fragrance, do want to go with the bottle presentation. So here is the Zaharoff, signature bottle. You got the Zaharoff Z, Brass and Soul, and then the Stay Fresh Productions. What I think is really cool is on here on the sides, it says Stay Fresh Productions with Zaharoff. On the back, nothing special going on there. On the bottom, you do have some more information about the house, and then you do have the cap, which obviously clicks into place, just like all of the Zaharoff caps. And then on the inside here, I didn't show this on the other ones, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you do have the Zaharoff Z inside the cap, which I think is just a tribute to George's just desire for detail in this presentation. So that is the bottle presentation for Brass and Soul. All right guys, so the moment you and I have been waiting for, we're gonna go ahead and get into the first impressions. Now, I've been waiting very patiently. I haven't smelled this yet because I wanted to give you my first experience with this, but this one is gonna be really special for me. I'm gonna be unbiased about it, even though Justin is a friend of mine, and honestly, this one is just really special to me just because, Justin was the one that I even heard about the House of Zaharoff from. So the fact that I'm smelling something that he has a collaboration with, Zaharoff on, and that he, had full creative control over this fragrance, it's super special. And, there's certain, YouTube channels that you just have, a better connection with, so to speak, whether it's just, the style of fragrances, the same taste in fragrances, same taste in, you know, maybe even music or just, you know, personal experiences and stuff, I just really connected with Justin. You know, he likes jazz music, I like jazz music, I play trumpet, he plays trumpet. You know, we're both fans of the barbershop fougere fragrance styles, and so he was just one of the ones from very early on in my fragrance journey that I really connected with, and this is just super awesome. So shout out to you, Justin. But that being said, I'm going to give my full honest opinions on this, and you know, here we go. So let's go ahead, take the cap off, give a first good spray. Really excited. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hold my breath, snap this back. And I don't know any of the notes. I mean, I know some of the notes, but I haven't looked up the notes. Just like with Ross's, I'm gonna read the notes off in the review. So here we go. Wow. This is really good. Okay, so fresh off the top, you're getting a lot of citrus, and if I'm not mistaken, it is mandarin orange. Do get a very bright, fresh, citrusy orange in there, and you get some spices that really come out here. Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is, you know, a lot of people have said on their review that you know, they would think with like the name Brass and Soul and just, you know, kind of the presentation of it, you'd think of a, you know, more darker, deep fragrance. But honestly, knowing Justin and knowing his style and just the name Stay Fresh, I kind of honestly did expect more of a lighter, fresh type of fragrance that has some backbone to it. So we'll see how the dry down does. But in the opening, man, just a lot of fresh citruses, and like there is something that is vaguely familiar, and I don't 100% know if it's just because of the mandarin in here, but I do honestly really enjoy the house of Mandarina Duck, and the Mandarina Duck Cool Black, it does open similar. It doesn't smell exactly the same, but it does open similar to Brass and Soul. It does have some kind of peppery, spicy nuances with that mandarin, just like the Cool Black, you know, from Mandarina Duck. And so I kind of do get similar vibes. Doesn't smell 100% the same by any means, I would say. And it's just a, you know, a vague idea of it. So 25% close, even if that, but it just kind of puts it into perspective. So really good, really light, really crisp. It does have, like I said, some spicy nuances, some peppers in there, but the main thing you're really getting from the first initial blast is going to be that beautiful mandarin orange note in there. This is really good. Well done, Justin. This stuff smells amazing. Very unisex. I don't really see this leaning masculine or feminine by any stretch of the imagination. Just very light and crisp, while at the same time having just a little bit of a depth to it with those peppers that are in there. I'm just guessing this pepper. I'm thinking maybe like a pink pepper or something like that. Really excited to kind of get into the notes and see what all is in here. But yeah, overall first impression, super solid, super amazing. Man, well done. You did an amazing job on this, Justin. Man, this stuff is very good. Honestly, I think my wife would even like this. So I'm gonna get her thoughts on it. Like I said, so I'm gonna come back here in a couple hours. I got some errands to do, so it will be a little bit longer than, you know, what I gave for business over pleasure. But when I come back, I'm gonna give you my full thoughts and review over this. And this so far, guys, this is really good. So all right, guys, welcome back. So it is currently 12:10 in the morning, so I was gone a lot longer than what I expected, but that's kind of a good thing because this gives me more of a chance to, you know, get familiar with the fragrance and wear it out and give it a full proper wearing. So really excited to give you my thoughts on it, you know, and tell you kind of what my wife thought of it, and, you know, our two friends we went over to tonight, you know, got some stuff ready for our album that's coming out. So really excited. Stay tuned for details on that, but really excited to go ahead and get into the final thoughts on Brass and Soul. So I'm going to go over the notes on this. I'm going to read it from the Zaharoff website because the card that I have, the signatures are signed over Brass and Soul, so I can't read all the notes. So this stuff, it's going to open up in the top with some citrusy notes. It looks like bouquet aromatics, juniper, mandarin, so mandarin orange, and then watery notes. In the mid, you're going to get spices, jasmine, gin, lily of the valley, geranium, bourbon, and then labdanum and cypress. In the dry down, you're gonna get smoky notes, patchouli, suede, moss, amber, cedarwood, vanilla, and I'm not sure what this is, but it says Bushman candle. So not sure what that could be, but it's interesting. So overall, guys, when you open this up, as you saw on the first impressions, you get this beautiful, just sweet, fresh, citrusy mandarin orange, and that's kind of like the life of the fragrance for the first, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. And then after that, it does kind of start to open up a little bit, and it does take on a different characteristic. And it took me a while to kind of put it, you know, off of another fragrance. You know, I was trying to go through my fragrance repertoire of what does this smell like, and I finally got it. So after about, I'd say, an hour to an hour and a half or so, it really started to smell like this, and that's whenever I was able to, you know, form a thought and opinion on it. So after about, I'd say, 10-15 minutes or so, that mandarin kind of starts to settle down, and you start getting some more spices that really kind of start to come forth. You get some geranium and gin that really kind of start to dance off of this, and those spicy notes really start to come forth. And what it kind of reminded me of, doesn't smell exactly the same by any means, but it kind of puts you in that ballpark realm of, at least to my nose, of Parfums de Marly Galloway. Now Galloway, you know, it is a very fresh, citrusy, kind of woody, spicy fragrance, and that's kind of what this is for the first, I'd say, good, you know, from an hour and 30 minutes until about 4 hours in, 4.5 hours in. That's kind of what it reminds you of. At least that's what it reminded me of, this spicy, fresh, woody, aromatic type of fragrance. And then in the dry down, it kind of took this like soapy vibe to it. So not like a super shower gel soapy type of vibe, but almost kind of like barbershop-esque, not quite like a barbershop fragrance by any means, but it just kind of gives you this fresh, clean, soapy vibe that's not quite shower jelly. It does kind of have some aromatic qualities to it, so it kind of puts it more of like a barbershop-ish type of, you know, clean, fresh soap. So hopefully that made sense. And what's really cool about this is this fragrance, it really kind of sings and plays its own number. So that's kind of what Justin was trying to embody. He's a musician, he plays jazz, and jazz is one of my all-time favorite types of music. And so jazz, it's always changing tempos, it's always changing notes, and it's always, you know, it's telling a story, and that's exactly what this fragrance does. So opening very fresh, citrusy, towards kind of the mid, you get this fresh, citrusy, woody type of vibe, and then the dry down, you get that citrus, but there's this clean, fresh, soapy vibe to it, almost kind of in like a barbershop-esque type of feel. At least that's what I got off my nose. So obviously this stuff is amazing. My wife actually really enjoyed this fragrance, so I'm really excited about that. This one, and then Business Over Pleasure, she's actually, you know, really liking, and so that's always good when the wife likes it. And then my two best friends, Austin and Jessica, they said that it smells really good, really fresh and clean. So Justin really hit it out of the park with this. So overall length and projection, guys, I'm still smelling it, and it's been at least 7.5, 8 hours, and so this stuff is no slouch. It does project and last a really good time. Honestly, I probably did a little too heavy of sprays. I went with 6 or 7 sprays just to get a full, you know, embodiment of the fragrance. And for the first hour to hour and a half, my wife said that I was pushing off very, very strong. So maybe don't go quite that heavy, but depending on where you're going to be, if you're going to be outside or, you know, something like that, you know, you can do that. But we were in a car, and she said that it was just really, really strong. So even though it's fresh and spicy, you know, it's definitely going to push off and project. So I'd say for the first hour and a half to 2 hours, the projection, you're going to be at least, you know, from my experience off of it, you're going to be pushing out at least an arm's length, if not even a little bit further. Then I'd say around like the 2.5 hour, 3 hour mark, it does kind of set in a little bit closer to the skin, but you're still pushing off a good, you know, 5 to 6 inches away. And then obviously, you know, it's 12:15, almost 12:20 now. You know, it's still projecting and pushing out. So this stuff, it does push out and project. So, you know, great office type of fragrance, but, you know, maybe don't spray it super heavy. So kind of occasions to wear this, honestly, it kind of does have a casualness to it, but I would reserve this more for like date nights or like a business meeting. Great office fragrance, you know, if you're gonna go out for a night on the town, you know, kind of reserve it for those more special moments. You know, you can wear it casually, obviously you can wear whatever you want, however you want, but this, it just kind of has that embodiment of, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put on a nice t-shirt, put on some nice pants, go out with the boys, or maybe go out on a date, you know, yeah, stuff of that nature, you know. So, but that's just kind of my thoughts on that. Like seasons to wear it, you could really honestly wear this all year round, but I do think it's suited best for maybe spring and summertime. You know, even into the fall, those spicy woody notes do kind of come out, and you know, kind of gives you a fall-ish vibe. You can wear it in the winter, don't get me wrong. I think that it would do great in the winter, but it just doesn't have that wintry type of feel to it. It doesn't really embody like a winter scent. At least that's just, you know, kind of my thoughts. So overall, guys, this stuff is amazing. Super honored to have it in my collection. I'm gonna officially place it on the fragrance rack here with the other Zaharoff fragrances, and I still have the Siren to do, so looking forward to doing that hopefully tomorrow. So be sure and stick around for that. But overall, guys, Brass and Soul is an amazing fragrance. Well done, Justin and Zaharoff. You know, you guys collabed on this and did an amazing job. Like I said earlier, this one was really special for me because Justin is how I found out about, you know, Zaharoff and how I became friends with George, and just an overall just amazing situation. So thank you so much, Justin, and from the bottom of my heart, man, you really killed this. So yeah, guys, that's my thoughts and opinions on this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure and give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and then comment down below if you smelled this, what's your experience with it. You know, what are your thoughts on this? If you haven't yet, if you want to order it, definitely do so. These are limited edition. Once they're gone, they are gone. You can still pick it up on the website for, I think it's $119, $120. So, you know, depending on shipping and everything like that, you know, prices may vary, especially internationally. Don't know how much that's going to be, but depending on the shipping that you choose, you know, that's, you know, at least the fragrance itself is around $119, $120. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure and comment down below. I'll catch you guys next time, and remember, if you love it, wear it.